Good morning, my friends. So here we are, Monday, first Monday of January 2026. And as I had mentioned, I'm doing this Bible study this year, and I am inviting anybody who wants to join me. Let's do it as a group. The first things first, I have posted on Facebook. That's where we'll have discussion. I mean, we can discuss here too, but I feel like I'm better. I don't know. I feel like typing's better for me in that, like, if we're having like discussions back and forth and stuff like that, because I can put it to the top and it can roll down. And this is where I do a lot of creative stuff. So I didn't think it would be a good place to do discussions. Who knows, maybe one time I'll go live. Maybe we'll try that out. I've never done anything like that before. But it's just wanted to go over a couple housekeeping items. And I'm super excited to do this. I don't know why. I've never done anything like this before, but I think it's going to be fun. I want to start with some of the things that I posted in the very first week. I am not a minister. I've not done any kind of ministry training, nothing like that. I am just a Christian woman who's doing a Bible study, and I'm just leaving it open, an open call for anybody who wants to join me following this book to join. If you have questions, we can talk about it in the discussion points. We can lift each other up. We can support each other. We can look stuff up. There's tools to do that. We can go through this journey together. We can talk about it in the discussion. However, if it comes down to it, I want to say, ask your pastors, ask your spiritual leadership, because I'm just a woman doing my best, and I may not have I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to teach a class here. That's not what this is. I want to be very clear about that. Number two, I want to treat everybody with respect. In the discussion, I want us to be positive, treat each other as God would have us treat each other, and let's just be grown-ups in the group, the discussion group. And then what else? My plan as it is each Monday, I'm going to pin it, the discussion, and it just says week 1, the date, so that, and then we'll close that for comments when we put up this week 2. And so we can discuss all week long as we're doing our reading. It's not, you don't have to go on there every day. You can go on there when you want. It's just going to be open the whole week for anybody, morning, noon, night, whoever's, because some people will do their studies in the morning, some will do it at night. We can all respond as we are able. You don't have to talk. You can just follow along. There's a lot of lurkers. I was a lurker for a long time. Lurkers are welcome too. But please feel free to jump in and join anytime that you feel like you want to. Also, you don't have to start the study on January 1st. Just hop in. If you happen to get this book in June, just hop in and join us where we're at, and, finish the year out and whatever. So I'm going to be very specific about the dates, so everybody can follow along and nobody gets lost like 3 months from now, right? And I personally write in my books, so I wrote January 5th through 11th. My week runs Monday to Sunday, so that's how we're going to do this. And I did not put the questions in. I just said, let's discuss points to ponder and actions for the week in the comments of the post, because I don't want to do any copyright issues, and I don't want to type all this out anyways. It's to each his own, right? So for day 1, our reading is going to be Genesis 1 through 4. I'm going to get started on doing that myself. And I think because in the directions, excuse me, I seem to have a cold. How to use this book. It It talks about the makeup of the Bible, which I'm familiar with. I actually have it broken down in my table of contents. I added pages with the makeup of the Bible just so I could keep track of which are letters, which are, Moses, which are Old New. I just have it broken down in there already. Then it talks about the New Testament's made up of the Gospels. That's the historical part. Let's see. We have, there's lots of translations. I use Bible Ref, particularly when I'm reading a verse that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll open Bible Ref and I'll read the same verse in like 8 versions of the Bible because it has them all listed literally next to each other, so you can compare them, see which words are same, which words are different, and it helps. So I can't recommend this enough. This is really important, especially when you're trying to understand a point and you don't feel like you're grasping it. What materials do I need? I love that this says exactly what I'm always talking about on this channel is the Bible, a notebook, and a pen or pencil. You don't need all the fancy stuff. You do need this book if you're doing the study, but there's that. And then it goes on to talk about what's in the book, how it's broken down. I do like the structure of this. If you haven't picked one up yet, I like that there's 6 days of reading and then there's a day of catch up to get us through the year, especially because Sunday I'm usually doing other things. And, if you go to church and you're doing whatever readings there, it just opens the door for a lot of things. That's why my week runs Monday to Sundays. Saturday is chores day. Sunday is like reset day. So, so let's see. So what's in the book? It outlines the scripture in the 52 weeks. On the 7th day, you're encouraged to catch up, along with the daily readings, commentary based on the scripture selections that will help you apply lessons from the Bible to everyday life. Following the commentary, you'll find questions to inspire you to think about your own journey. Excuse me, it's early. It's early in the morning before work. As well as a prayer, a highlighted verse, or action steps to exercising your faith to overcome an issue you're facing. You'll be tackling the Bible in very manageable portions. It should take 15 to 20 minutes a day. The readings are not strictly chronological. They do that to help you stay motivated so you don't get bored. I will tell you, I've been working through Genesis this year. I finished I just have a couple pages left. And it's been quite I wouldn't say bored's the word, but it's just very, I don't even know. It can get overwhelming when you're doing a deep dive and stuff. I think I'm a little nervous about the bouncing around thing. I don't know if you guys have opinions about that, but we're going to try it this year because this is what's going to allow me to get through the Bible in 1 year. I don't know if that's why you've chosen to do it. I've never read the Bible in a year. So, and I've read pros and cons about that. And maybe I need some coffee. Maybe that'll help me stop yawning. I've read pros and cons. Here's my coffee. About reading the Bible in a year, and that, are you really absorbing it and stuff? I guess it depends on how you read it. Like, there are parts where you just get dug deep in, as you can see by my notes here and stuff. But there are parts where, let's further into Genesis, where you're just reading along and you're just along for the story, and you just have a comment or something to make. It's not the deep dive. Like here, there are lots more comments, but here I was just reading what was happening. So sometimes you're just along for the journey, learning the history of it, and sometimes you're like picking it apart. I don't know. There's different ways to read the Bible, and I think as long as you're in the Bible and you're swimming through it, it doesn't matter if you're doing the backstroke, the breaststroke, the side stroke, like if you're dog paddling. Sometimes that's all we can do is just dog paddle and get across, right? So I think the point is that you're in it, right? You're surrounded by the healing waters of it, and that you're hearing what God has to say to your heart, and you're praying through it, and that's the most important part, I believe. And again, comment what your thoughts are on this, but some dives are deeper than others, and I think that's okay. I think that's based on the season of life. I think that's based on what you're reading and how it all applies to all of us, right? But sometimes you're reading and it just really hits home, and you just want to just like dive deep and discover the rocks and the seaweed below you. And sometimes you're just floating on the surface, just staring at the clouds, just enjoying the feeling of, being in the water. So I think that is how each person approaches it their own way. And it's important to remember that every way is okay. Every way counts. And it's not up to us to lead. I mean, it is up to us to help each other along, but it is not up to us to direct another's path. That's between them and God. And God will make it clear to them. And if we ask each other for help, that's great. But I think we really have to be careful not to interfere with each other's journeys. So I'm saying all of this to make sure that when we're doing this together, that we're not being judgy with each other. We're not saying, oh, you're doing it wrong or anything like that. We want to keep this positive and really ensure that we're here to lift each other up. And, when people are drowning, that we're handing them life preservers, not telling them to just swim harder, if that's a good analogy. So I think that I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get started, and I will be filling my questions out in my book. I do recommend to people, if you want to use this book over and over again, that you don't write in it. You fill your answers out in a notebook, maybe write 2026 on that notebook. Excuse me. Which will leave you free to use it again the following year, and not in still, if you do it in separate notebooks and you label each notebook by year, then that keeps this clean and you're free to use it over and over again. My intention is to do this one this year and to do a different one next year, or, however that ends up looking. And if I want to do this one again or a different version, because I know the Bible in 52 weeks, this is the year-long Bible study for women. I know they have lots of different ones. I would just get a new study. I'm going to make all my notes right here. I am going to, I call it tear this up, shred it. It's going to end up looking like this when I'm done with it, because I'll probably put in extra pages and yada, yada, yada. That's not to say I will not be using my, this is my study notebook, my Bible study notebook. It's not to say I won't be using that and writing in this for different things that I'm doing. you know, stuff like if I want a verse map or I want to do something like that, I will take deeper dives like that still in this. But this I'll just be answering questions and that sort of thing. I guess that's all I have to share. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the group. I'll put the group link in the bottom of this video, and I don't think I'll post this type of video. Well, I will post and let you know I've put up. I'm not sure. Do we need a video every week? Just telling you guys that I've posted it? Let me know if you want that. If I need to post on YouTube each week and say, hey, go over to Facebook, the discussion question for week 2, week 3, whatever is open. Maybe it'll remind people. Don't know. So, don't know what I have to say. Maybe I'll have stuff to say about the last week's study. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. This is going to be an interesting journey. I'm glad you guys are coming on with me. Have a blessed day. Bye.